Thank gods for autosaves.
So how we feeling today on a spectrum of lovely to nasty?
I don't know, but I have a feeling I'll be able to do exactly 6 things about it, no matter what it is.
Yeah, that's how life is.
Let's just remind ourselves, this is another new day for us. We have a couple of big objectives here, right?
Yep.
We have... Oh, quests, here we go. We want to fix our roof, because we must not show hole.
We haven't looked at this one before.
I don't know what that one is. It's
new since we rested.
It's new.
Golden hair, at last may you rest. What will become of you? Take up her mantle, spread finally your wings, open finally your 1,000 eyes, let finally all lesbians smile.
I see. I was going to say we also have to negotiate with our chemist to get the oestradiol, huh?
We don't have that quest yet.
We don't have that quest, but our nightmares kind of made it clear that it's something we got to work with. Also, is this our room? What the heck is going on here? Let's find out. There is a knocking at your front door. It's not a friendly knocking. The golden light is vaporized by the "you're about to have to talk to someone at 9 a.m. adrenaline rush.
Ah, it's the pigs! Quick, jump out the window!
Let's not.
Oh, come on, I've got great ideas.
You shiver. It was a cold night. You'll catch your death of cold if you don't get that hole fixed soon. There is another knock. This one is very unfriendly.
Shit. We're done for, gang. We're going away for a long time if they rozzers know anything about my time with the Camden cocksuckers.
The Camden what?
Cocksuckers. You can say the word, it won't bite you. Biting's a big faux pass in the cocksucking industry, you know?
Big faux pass.
It's faux pas. And the Camden whatever is the name of her old gang, if you can call it that. Beastly behavior, but hardly London's most wanted. They were mostly responsible for petty vandalism and public noise complaints, as well as crimes against common decency.
One time me and the lads all got together and pissed so hard into the same urinal that the ceramic fucking cracked and it fell off the wall. Shit fucking bopped.
Salute the concept of the lads. Dudes bop.
The thumping on the door continues. It's even less friendly now. You should probably get that. It might be important, and by might be important, I mean is important. Please remember to get dressed first, sweetie.
It was a difficult check. We could have failed.
That too.
Literally, why? Who cares? It's our house. We can be naked if we want. Pretty sure it's in the Brussels Accords or some shit.
The knocking intensifies. Whoever's downstairs would rather be anywhere than at your door, but they have no choice, it seems. Shall we get dressed first?
Sure.
Lovely lady was so kind to remind us.
Cuck. Clothes, cuck. Whatever, fuck you. I'm going back to sleep.
No, you aren't. Cease throwing a wobbly and act like a grown-up.
Sit fuck up.
The one who kept talking about frogs for hours and hours and 3 days remain. Not at all frightening. It's like an electric shot. Woman, woman, woman. Here, here, here. Scary. Pretty. Smells interesting. She looks to be in her early 30s, save her eyes, which look older or perhaps just more tired. She's lit a cigarette, for warmth, more than anything else. The door is barely open before she begins talking. Her voice has a slight Frankish tinge to it, a pretty accent garbled through ruined lung radio static, which makes it all the sexier. The pulp writer.
Our dickhead boss probably already explained this to you, but I'm collecting. Sorry, who are you? What the fuck do you mean, who are you? I already have said, didn't I?
She didn't. Don't point that out. She doesn't care, and it will just annoy her. She's as tightly strung as a violin, this one.
Violin. Embarrassing. Guitar for bottoms.
The woman eyes you with disdain. It isn't for you so much as it is for the situation she has been forced into by the enigmatic being known only to you as our dickhead boss.
Correct. You did. Please continue.
She breathes a sigh of relief. She wants this over as soon as possible.
Hi, yeah, it's me. Hope you didn't forget me.
The nightmare's voice is quieter in the cold light of day. It feels insidious, cruel, but somehow a lesser entity than it was in the cold ceramic night.
I'm here too now. Smiling emoticon. I thought I'd wait till after your conversation started to let you know that you haven't trimmed your facial hair for 2 days. You look hideous. Lamau.
Uh-oh, I forgot I had to do that.
Not, oh, crackers, fuck. Alright, it's fine, I don't mind having facial.
Then it's a good thing you have a friend like me to help you out. Smiling emoticon with far too many closing parentheses.
It'd actually be more evil if the smiling emoticon was inverted. Using an opening parenthesis instead of a closed one. I feel like that's the evil version. And yes, that's an emoticon, not an emoji. That's one of the originals. Your muzzle itches. It feels dry, wiry like a tin scouring pad. It could cut someone were they to run their hand across it. Yesterday was nice, but the wriggling and squinting deep inside you is back now. Perhaps forever.
Why did you wait until now to tell me?
Because I hate you. Lol. Lamau.
Why do you hate me?
What? I don't? What? I love you. We're friends, remember? I look out for you. Like just now, I helped you remember that you were untrimmed. I'm nice, actually. Fuck you. I love you.
Started quest, Operation Smell Nice. The pulp writer clears their throat. The sound of a storm drain clogged with shrapnel and viscera. They're glaring at you in frustration. You've been silent for about 20 seconds now. Are you okay? What is the matter?
You didn't hear any of that?
Excuse me? Hear any of what? Are you alright, Ghost?
Hello? Always you keep not paying attention.
It's like fucking Death Note in here. Her Anglian is ever so slightly broken. Not because she's bad at it, but because she rightfully does not respect it. Just try to hold this conversation, please. It seems important.
Your article, can I take it? Let's take a step back. I'm supposed to have an article. What have you been doing for the last week? Jacking off and getting high?
I wish. We should totally do that. Drugs, jacking off, I mean. We should get some drugs and then do the drugs and then jack off. We should buy drugs and jack off, everyone.
You haven't written an article, have you? No, sorry. Was I supposed to?
The pulp writer sighs. She is so tired.
We're running a piece called Heroes of the Great War. That is to say, an interview with a real-life Blue Hills war hero. You were given the job because, as the newest writer at Weird Tales, you were the least likely to put up a fight. That's where you work, Weird Tales magazine, in case you'd somehow forgotten that, too.
The pulp writer picks at something on her hand. She does this a lot, when she can feel things spiraling out of her control. Smoke curls away from her momentarily unattended cigarette.
Can you tell me a little about Weird Tales, just as a refresher? I only just woke up and I'm still half asleep. I do not have amnesia. You have amnesia. Like you actually have amnesia. Bordel, I am not being paid enough to deal with this shit. No, I said I don't have amnesia.
See, that's more convincing.
Peu importe.
She taps some ash off the end of her cigarette. The embers vaporize a bead of morning dew. The cottage's previous owner spent a lot of time abroad on business. The unkempt state of her cottage reflects this, but not them themselves. They were ever so prim and proper.
Weird Tales is Anglia's premium magazine for quality short literature, scary articles, and thought-provoking non-fiction. Or so the tagline claims. In reality, it's tripe, utter sheepshit. But it pays the bills. That's why you joined us, right?
She looks down at her hand. Her fur is scruffy and matted from her incessant picking.
Gods.
She stares off into the horizon. It's the first time she's lost focus on her purpose here since she arrived. Her nose twitches absent-mindedly, breathing in some of her smoke. Oh, we lost something there.
Anyhow, that's Weird Tales. You're writing an article for it. An article about a war hero doesn't seem all that weird for a magazine called Weird Tales, I mean. Why, it's not. It's shit. Waste of a fucking page. But it's what the editor wants. I get it though, if we don't run some sheepshit fluff piece about our brave war heroes in time for Victory Day, we'll get savaged by the Anglian mail. And they already have a noose around our fucking neck after we ran that filth a few months back.
Ooh, filth?
Filth? Tell me more. No.
We should read it. Let's find a copy.
The less said
We
about...
failed a very easy with Orb.
Yep. The less said about that, the better.
All right.
I like your hair, ma'am. Okay. I am not here to talk about my hair.
She's actually very touched. She refuses to admit or show that, though.
What should I do? Just interview someone. Anyone. It only needs to be a page long. If they were in the war, they're a hero now as far as the public is concerned. Your brave boys, girls, and non-binaries could kick an orphan in the face, and the mewling masses would still lick their fucking boots. Do that, write it up, and bring it to me by the end of the day, and I'll be out of your fur.
All right. Huh.
I'll make you proud, fellow writer.
Salute. She rolls her eyes under her breath. Somehow. She hands you a piece of lined paper. The penmanship is near unreadable, but it appears she scrawled her address on it.
Get it done.
Or at least we know a war hero.
Yeah.
A billow of warm smoke engulfs you. When it clears mostly via your nostrils, she is gone. The pulp writer is not one for fanfare. A breeze passes over you. It is a cold morning.
I don't think she liked me, and yet my heart felt slightly funny when she spoke to me. Curious. Curious.
That's horniness. You're horny, Ghost. Here, I'm gonna give you a quick side quest to go just rub one out real quick. Be surprised. It really gets things going.
It's love. You're in love, Ghost.
I am?
I don't know. Maybe? Isn't it an exciting thought, though? Squeak, squeak.
But she kept being mad at me.
That's why you like her, dickhead. You're such a bottom, it's pathetic.
She was only a bit mad at you. Unfortunately, she does not possess the Anglian pretension for veiling one's frustration behind a forked tongue and a fake smile, instead possessing the Frankish predisposition for honesty-based violence. So, you're a writer. Any thoughts?
That first option is so good. I don't think it's the one we're picking, but it's so good.
Sure, we could pick it. There's nothing stopping us. We are who we choose to be.
Come to think of it, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right.
I'm so fucking pumped to write. I love this shit. Inject writing directly into my veins. Awoo!
New quest objective, write an article about a war hero for Weird Tales magazine before the end of the day. Let's find ourselves a war hero to interview. Squeak, squeak.
I go to the effort of interviewing someone, we could literally just make up a guy. It'd stop us. Or if you try and stop us, I'll come at you with a knife.
Uh-huh. If you say so, nasty girl. Somewhere in the distance a crow caws. Somewhere further a magpie caws back.
What about the weapon? They did war stuff, didn't they?
I don't get the impression they want to discuss that with you, but you are correct. They did war stuff.
Could you not just tell me about a war hero orb?
I suppose so. I'm not convinced I'm reliable enough for that to be a good plan, though, as much as it pains me to admit it.
Let's move on.
Oh. Because we don't get any penalties for just
Okay.
asking around, right?
I don't know. I wasn't sure that.
Oh, sorry.
We could just make up a guy.
There's literally no reason not to. I reckon a good half of my free time is spent making up guys. I leave the making out for the chicks.
While it would be rather uncouth to lie to our new acquaintance and make up a guy, Puppy always says one should work smarter, not harder. Let's do it. C'est la vie. C'est la vie. Bad idea. Bad idea. Oh, we got it difficult. Of course. Our quest to find a burly dyke who can give us a hammer may also lead us to not a war hero, exactly, but someone relevant, at least.
Burly dykes are always relevant, asshole.
We should stop standing around in the doorway like a door and get going. We've got a lot to do today, Ghost. Somewhere close, a sheep goes, "Bah." Another sheep replies, "Bah."
Oh, hi. I just remembered something.
What?
That you are forgetting something.
I gathered that, yes. What is it?
I'm not telling.
Please?
Well, Since you ask so nicely, today is your appointment at the GIC. You better get there on time, idiot. It'll be a quick appointment. The doctor will take one look at you and know that you're a little pervert.
Me being a little pervert has no bearing on my status as a little transgender rat.
There is no response. The nightmare has receded. Oh dear. She's staring off into space again. Can someone give her a poke?
Guess what, team? We have an appointment with the gender clinic to go to today. No, I don't know what time.
We do? What are the odds? You've been waiting for this appointment for... 5 years. What a functional healthcare system.
Gotta love it.
I think it would be wise to spend some time preparing. Peering into the murky depths of the future, I can see this going... poorly. If you don't make yourself look fuckable enough for the doctor. Goodness knows you could use a shower, you grimy little urchin. Poppy would have you thrown into the stable smelling as you do. Not knowing when the appointment is exactly. We should get there as early as possible, just in case. Looks like we have even more to do today than we thought.
But there's so much else I want to do. Wander around, search the woods for beasts, find creatures and meet women, etc. Time is a curse orb, a damnable curse.
We can do anything you want, Ghost, but let's try to be sensible and use our time wisely.
Fuck yes! I agree with Orb. Let's go hunt for cryptids in the abandoned AMOD zone.
That is not what I...
Whoa.
Would I like to save the game? Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, what are our quests? Because I feel like we got a ton. Yeah, we got a ton more. We've seen the first two.
So not show hole. Golden hair. God-awful feeling. Get some hormones. You have a GIC appointment like today. You should probably go to it. It's definitely going to be smelly. Really helpful, and you'll get closer to acquiring hormones. Operation smell nice. Clean yourself up. Scrungly woman. Write an article about a roar here for Weird Tales magazine before the end of the day. Interview someone or just bullshit. It doesn't really matter. Filler content. I hardly know her content. LOL. Search for cryptids in the woods. Okay, so in order of priority, I'm guessing clean ourselves up, go get to the appointment, write article.
Yeah.
Maybe find a dike if we have time after that.
Yep.
The Bells of Blue Hills. Because, as you know, like, we can just deal with whatever suckiness happens to happen to the place where we live. You can just smile and put up with it. It's fine. You can just keep living through anything. I mean, does it matter if the apartment above you shower suddenly starts flooding the walls behind your bookcase? Does it matter if the sewer system backs up into your apartment and floods the entire of your living space within 2 inches of human feces? Does it matter if you have fucking funguses growing in the office you're supposed to be working in that your landlord still can't get someone out here to fix? Does it matter if there's a hole in your ceiling that you've also called about several times and does it matter if your sink is rusting so much that you can't even, like, use part of it properly?
You okay?
I'm good.
We good?
I'm good. Can I have one of the hugging things? Here we go.
Yes,
I'm
you
gonna
can.
hug this thing.
You can. You can have one. Here's one.
Oh, thanks for handing me the shark. Anyway. The bells of Blue Hills Cathedral chime in the distance. Mass is in session this morning. You find yourself strangely compelled by the sound. The stirring of something. Oh, right, and there's also something at the church we wanted to check out. Okay. Wow, we got a lot of places to be.
That's way too many.
Yep. We probably want to clean up. We want to go with our original plan here. Clean up, get to the appointment.
That one on the left looks like a razor.
It's been brought to your attention that you're disgusting. Because you are. You should clean yourself up. Let's do it.
Oof, there goes an action.
All right. Your bedroom is cold. It will remain cold until you repair the roof, which you should really do before you catch your death of cold. The chill hangs in the trepidation of what is to come. The smelly trans woman cleanup session. Ghost darling, do you have a morning routine?
I'm not convinced I ever had a morning routine, orb or no orb.
Oh me, oh my. What a predicament. No matter, we'll make this work. Now then, where to start? I know where to start. Ghost, look, I'm trying to be diplomatic. Ghost, you know what? Perhaps lovely lady is more suited for this. I was hoping you'd recognize my natural charisma and charm eventually. Thank you, Orb.
They're gonna say you smell really bad and look like you've been dragged through a barn. Ignore them, you're perfect the way you are. It's called body positivity, and don't ever let these fuckheads drag you down and oil you up with their snake oil.
Snake oil? I'll have you know my perfume is from Paris.
Paris.
Paris. You stink, Ghost. You need to have a wash.
Yeah, go take a bath, you stinky girl.
Nasty girl, I thought you were on my side. I feel so betrayed.
Yeah, I'm on your side, I'm not on your side. I got a short attention span from years of huffing speed, and it's fun watching you blush when I say shit like, go take a bath, you stinky girl.
Blush.
All according to Keikaku.
Writer's note. All means the whole amount, quantity, or extent of.
Great subversion there. When I saw the Sleepy Game Dev pop up, I'm like, oh, she's gonna explain what Keikaku means. Nope. Funny. I see your meme and I approve. So, are we all good? Ghost needs to have a bath.
Agreed. My armpits feel sticky. I think I might have gotten syrup in them.
Thank goodness. This cottage has a gas boiler, but you'll need to fill up some buckets for the bath. It's not connected. Unless you're content to bathe in cold water, of course.
Let's go fetch some hot water.
The boiler is in a cupboard in the kitchen. It's a slightly scary looking thing, more torpedo than a home appliance, but it works. The bucket quickly fills up. The water looks ever so inviting. It's almost a shame you can't fit in the bucket and bathe immediately, but unfortunately you must settle for the bath. Remember the proper way to lift things. Bend your knees and keep your back straight. To ignore this advice is a dangerous game, Ghost. Yeah, actually, yeah. One thing I learned from all the time working in retail is that if you don't do that, you will start to feel it very quickly.
Yep.
It's a little obnoxious to get in the habit of, but if you're like picking up heavy boxes all day and that's your job, it's a strange thing to learn, but it behooves you to get in the habit of it. Because you don't want to lift things with your spine. It'll just fuck up your back and then you'll be unhappy. It's also one of those things that's really easy to ignore until suddenly it isn't. And you'll just feel better if you don't ever get to that point.
Knife Fingies is a dangerous game, and that one's a bopper. Ignore Orb's politically correct lifting advice, Ghost. Have some fun. Fuck your spine.
Let's play knifey fingies.
Oh my, how exciting. Finally I get to see how the other half lives. I should take notes. Perhaps the stable girl would like me more if I knew all about how she has to carry hot water to bathe.
I like how it's easy to do it right and difficult to do it wrong. Let's do it right.
Good girl.
Blush.
You manage to hoist up the bucket. It's heavy, but you can do it. You drag it to your bath and pour the water in. It sloshes into the basin and down the drain. All right. That was a good practice run, but You should probably put the plug in next time.
Time to sigh and fill up the bath, content in our lifting technique.
I'm so excited. A nice hot bath. My favorite. It isn't long until you find yourself soaking in a relaxing hot bath. You feel cleaner already. The grease and dirty lifts from your little naked body and forms pond scum. You try not to think about it too hard. Steam rises from the surface of the water, and you sniff it up. It is cleansing. Oh, how relaxing. This is almost as good as the baths my maid prepares for me at home. Almost. The water is hot. Not quite scalding, but you do feel ever so much a little lobster.
Let's snap our hands like they're claws.
Chomp, 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 chomp. Hey!
Hey!
Oh, j'adore! A little odd, but charming, yes.
I am an invertebrate with a hard protective exoskeleton. Don't come near me or I'll pinch you.
You have to then snap your hands like they're claws. All right, this is cute and all, but let us not make this bit outstay its welcome. Ghost?
Waggle our antennae.
This isn't great. You should probably get out of the bath before the water's lukewarm embrace becomes cloying. You gotta wiggle antennae? The water's getting pretty chilly. It's sad to say.
Let's get out of the bath.
You don't want to... Okay, you're not continuing the bit?
No.
You clamber out of the bath just before you start to resent the water. That was the wrong voice, but whatever. We're rolling with it. Can people hear the difference between these? I hope so. I'm always worried about that I'm just doing effort for nothing. Your bathwater looks a bit scummy. It's probably time to empty the drain.
Aren't you forgetting something? It's time to shave your nasty fucking face.
You stare into the mirror and lean towards it. Your eye grows to meet your gaze in the reflection, but before looking down, muzzle hair, your face bristles with it like metal barbs. The nightmare was right.
The nightmare is always right. You know, this is the first time you've intentionally looked at your reflection since your little altercation with the orb. You realize that, right? Would you like to discuss why that is?
Why are you playing therapist all of a sudden?
It's what I'm good at. If you do what you love, you won't work a day. Lol. Smiling emoticon with a nose. Your face. It's like looking into a whirlpool, isn't it? Like watching ink run down the sink. Always shifting every time you look different.
Cry a little bit.
Don't you mean pee a little bit?
God, you're actually fucking crying. That's pathetic. Your half of the population has to do this every day. Ghost. You think the rest of them make this much drama about it? It's fucking embarrassing.
Ghost? Goodness, are you okay, darling?
The fuck you freaking out about?
Muzzle hair.
Well, muzzle hair, you look fine, idiot.
7 hairs that are a little longer than the rest. They survived the hair removal process you undertook a few months ago. Still, they are not noticeable and probably aren't worth the trouble. I could probably make them out with Papa's magnifying glass, but with my bare eye, I say nay. Your reflection stares back at you. It's so grim. Misery made into putty and pressed into the shape of a sad little rat.
Time to attempt to shave.
You sort of hack away at your facial fuzz with the razor. It works, but it shouldn't.
into a museum and smashed a bracelet-ching vase. Be mad at me, right? But I'm supposed to just sit here and watch you ruin your natural beauty. How cruel.
Why are you such a dick?
Because I love you, Ghost. Do you know what it's like loving someone who wishes you were dead? It hurts.
When you were studying, you watched a section once, a medical class. There was a moment where the surgeon ever so daintily peeled away some flesh to expose the heart. They were so careful.
I studied medicine?
No. You and your friends just snuck in because you thought it would be gross. It was.
Dudes rock.
Anyway, that was pretty much the opposite of what you're doing now. And I don't know why. There's barely any fur to remove, and what is there doesn't need to be attacked like you're trying to fight a killer hornet with a razor. Oh hey, we filled an easy one with the nightmare, thank God. I think it's high time you change your clothes, darling. Where I come from, it's customary to change one's clothes every day. Your current dress hasn't been washed in several days.
Not meant to wash clothes. It makes them shrink like a dick in a pond.
Please put on something else, darling.
That's a good idea. I do feel faintly disgusting after wearing it.
It's your tit. Frankly, I'm amazed you haven't gotten lice, Ghost. Fortunately, you have an identical, clean dress in your wardrobe.
You're right. Let's get dressed. Put on your nice dress that smells faintly of lavender.
You put your outfit on. It's identical to your previous one, which is convenient for the artist, but it feels and smells cleaner. Soft, light, airy. You look at the mirror and you look nice. And clean, too.
It's the same fucking outfit they love. And I think she's a greaseball anyway.
Huh. Do a spin. I always do a spin when I put on a dress. Wee.
Do a gay little spin. Wee.
Homo.
Curious. You look so much nicer now. It makes such a difference to dote on yourself. Interesting. Oh, wee. You look positively smashing, Ghost. Now let's throw your old clothes in the bin.
Excuse me?
The bin, darling. It's time to dispose of your old clothes.
Can't I just wash them?
Well, yes, if you don't mind people knowing you're poor. Personally, I'd not be seen dead wearing the same clothes on multiple occasions. By the year 2020, the world produces around 2 billion tons of waste a year. Lovely lady is ahead of the curve. I am an innovator, yes. Poppy always told me when I came to him with my wonderful futuristic ideas like Yacht 2.
The sequel to Yachts?
Don't throw away your dirty but otherwise pristine clothes, Ghost.
I'm not going to do that.
Have fun staying poor, then, one supposes. What now? Might I suggest putting on some makeup? All the loveliest little ladies wear it.
Do I even own any makeup? Do I even know how to use it?
You own several pieces of barely used makeup, yes. They're in your bathroom cabinet. As for the second part of your question, no. You're terrible at it, which is likely why they're hardly been touched. That was before you met me, mon ami. I'll have you looking positively radiant.
Attempt to pretty yourself up.
You add a little bit of eyeshadow around your eyes. It's not much, but it is pretty.
Smile.
Yeah. You know, for someone who personally doesn't like makeup, I do appreciate what eyeshadow does to a person's appearance. It's amazing, like, what having just the eyes pop like that, like, I don't like it on me, but, like, that doesn't mean I can't appreciate people who put in the work for it, right?
I wish I could do eyeliner and eyeshadow, but I spent years trying to, and I mostly just end up looking like a raccoon because I'm clumsy as shit and can't apply it with any form of precision.
Oh, darling, what a wonderful job you've done. I'm so proud of you. Squeak, squeak.
Ooh, Ghost! If I wasn't already inside of you, I sure as hell want to be now.
You look objectively cute right now. I'm glad for you.
I've seen better.
Thanks, Nighty.
Nightmare couldn't. Well, the thing is, Nightmare could only put us down by saying they've seen better. So, nothing negative to say about how we look right now. Huh. Well, there's something on the tip of my mind, but I can't quite work out what. Oh, that's it. Are your eyes full of sleep gunk?
Yes, lots.
No!
Rub
Don't,
your eyes and yawn.
No!
I'm very eepy, you see.
don't rub your eyes and yawn. How was I the only one to notice this? Suggestion. Wipe the gunk away.
I thought it was meant to be like that. I thought it was normal, Orb. Clear the gunk from your eyes.
Normal for you, maybe. You get abnormally gunky, Ghost.
Look around the room with your shiny, clean eyes. Oh wow, I can see things now. That bops.
That does bop. Think of all the little ladies we'll be able to see in detail now. Hoo-hoo! Cleanup session over. You look at the mirror. It's you, but it's different. You look as wonderful as a dirty mirror can manage. I think we're done. We did a great job, actually. We did. 4 cheers and 3 cheers for lovely lady. Yip yip for you.
Yip yip, lovely lady.
Ladies, I'm sad. I want to be doted on. To be pretty. Which is stupid because being doted on and made to look pretty is pointless to me. Oh, monsieur. How sweet. Orb wants to be pretty. I'm literally so mad that I have feelings and wants now. It is awful. They're all so unattainable. Being pretty is a basic mammal need, Orb. It's attainable to all, even Nasty Girl if she tried.
Bitch.
It's fine. I don't need to be pretty. I just want to be pretty. You're already pretty, darling. Leaps and bounds away from myself, perhaps, but pretty nevertheless. If you say so. Let's just get on with our day.
One day we will find a way to polish you with bowling ball polish, Orb. I swear on it.
All right. Oh, it's going to ask us to save whenever we finish one of these. Okay, that's good.
Final cut edition where you can put lipstick on the orb.
There we go. All right. So now I think we want to head to our appointment, right?
Yeah, where is such a thing?
Let's see.
Probably the appointment is at that locale that says sex party. That's probably a doctor's office, right?
Do you want me to check? Seems some Deutsch guy has made Blue Hills his entire home. Center his home. Hopefully he's at least nice.
Let's not.
Okay. There's a crashed memorial in the town center. Sounds pretty bopper, right?
Let's go back.
The garage, the smell of a muscular lesbian inside of it. If anyone in this town has a hammer, it is her.
Let's go back.
What's this one? Blue Hills Park promises to underwhelm you, so you might as well get it over with.
Let's go back.
You have an appointment with the gender clinic, apparently. No doubt they will be eager and willing to help you attend to your poor, transsexual little needs, and won't subject you to a dehumanizing medicalization.
Let's attend the appointment.
Yep.
I'm stoked that this is going to remove all of our remaining actions in one go, I'm sure, due to how awful it'll go.
Yep. The receptionist files down one of her nails. She doesn't even glance up as you enter. The keeper of the Gate of Venus. She is 30, and likes to paint flowers.
Hello, apparently I have an appointment here today, or something.
The keeper of the gate puts down her nail file and looks up at you.
Well,
She flips through her notes, chicken scratch writing connected by red string. Her record keeping is atrocious, and she seems to have spent most of today absent-mindedly drawing sheep over top her records.
can I take your name?
Uh-oh.
Ghost.
And your surname?
Ghosty.
Wonderful. Oh, wait, sorry, I didn't mean to be here. Was I already saying her lines?
Oh, I think at some point we swapped.
Yeah, keep going for it.
I'm not seeing you on my list, but there's only one appointment booked for today, which I suppose must be you. Perhaps I wrote the wrong name down. Apologies, Miss Ghost. I'm ever such a ditz. If you sit in the waiting room, the doctor will be with you in just a moment. Thank you.
And there goes our action. Wait, why are we down to 3 now?
Because we lost another action. We lost one when we started, and now we lost another.
A clock ticks somewhere. Time passes slowly here, or quickly, it's hard to tell.
Uh-oh.
We failed. Well, it's a difficult one. I'm not surprised we failed. After an eternity in limbo, the keeper of the gate speaks.
The doctor will see you now.
She gestures to a door. It's too big to be a normal-sized door, but not so big as to be too big. It is just an unnaturally sized door, not fit for normal use. Not for any specific reason, mind. It's just not quite right. It should have been shredded into wood chips the moment it was born, but it wasn't. And now you have to step through it.
Step through the horrible door.
The room on the other side is cold. It smells like a war photograph. A trench full of bodies. The smoke of the bulldozer. This place is wrong. You need to leave. You can leave after you've gotten hormones. Snap out of it, Ghost.
You can never leave. You'll be in this room forever. Even if it feels like you're allowed into the yard to exercise in the open air once in a while. You were born for this room. You will live your life forever in its walls. And one day, you will be killed in it.
The gender NKVD.
Wait, what NKVD?
The Soviet secret police.
I see.
Purpose of visit.
It's him. The one for whom you came here. The gender NKVD.
Hello. Do a gay little wave. I'd like some feminizing hormones, please. Sit down homosexually. Time on hormones thus far. Orb, how long have I been on hormones?
5 years, give or take a month.
5 years, give or take a month. Age. Okay, Orb, awkward question, I know, but how old am I?
You're 28
Oh, sorry.
as of 5 weeks ago. Happy late birthday, Ghost. Happy birthday, Ghost!
Happy birthday, you fucking MILF.
Good gods. You're practically dead. Should really consider ending it now. Before you become too frail and brain-wormed and end up trapped in your husk for decades. Decades watching the world die through your glassy, cataract-clouded eyes.
I love Nightmare. Nightmare can take the most innocuous statement and turn it into a reason to just like, oh, this room is slightly weird? all right, you're doomed to exist here forever and you should die now because it's the only way to escape.
Happy birthday, by the way.
You're 28? Guess what? Guess what that means you should do. Thanks, Nightmare.
Got your back.
Interesting that we can't say...
We have to be gay about it. Because remember that, like, if we don't present convincingly feminine enough, then we don't get access to hormones. Whether or not that fits in with how we want to be, the gender NKVD is the one who gets to determine whether or not we're homosexual enough for them.
But is for that, or is that nonsense?
I don't know.
But we gotta do it. You're not meant to ask a lady that. Lean in close. Would a non-lady say that, eh? Age. 30? Aware of gender incongruence from early age, yes or no? We should ask the orb, but say yes anyway, regardless.
Okay. A while ago, I think. Kind of vague, I know. I don't mean if that means yes or no to this question.
Yes. Parents cross-dressers, yes or no? Orb, did my parents cross-dress?
No, they didn't. Not that it would matter if they did.
No. Steal and wear mother's dresses as child, yes or no? Orb?
You started wearing dresses after you started your hormones. You couldn't imagine yourself in one before then, let alone look at yourself.
Too big a head and too broad shoulders. They look hideous on you. Sorry. Would have, I mean, before you started hormones, lol. You look very brave now when you wear one. Smiling emoticon.
You look brave. Ugh.
I think we have to lie and say yes, though.
Yeah. Yes? Drive automobile, yes or no? Or do I drive an automobile?
Thankfully not, given your eyesight. No, I
like to walk / wander about / meander, etc. Masturbate. Excuse me?
It was a question, I think.
Oh, option 4 is special.
Can you please read it aloud even if we don't pick it?
I usually start by imagining I'm getting inflated with helium, like one of the blimps they used to hang over London during the war, you know? Then someone presses a pin into me and I burst. In the imagination, I mean, not real life. Anyway, I'm pulling myself off in real life while I think about this.
The normal way, but girly, I think we have to say.
Do we, or is it I don't?
I actually don't know. Like, because this person needs to be convinced that we are sufficiently feminine enough.
Yep.
Right. But if it's just a sex thing, then does that mean... If they think it's just a sex thing, then does that mean we don't get it?
Yeah, because there's that whole, autogynephilia bullshit where it's like, oh, you're doing this for sex reasons. So I feel like we gotta lie and say, I don't.
Okay.
I don't. Dolls as child, yes or no? Or did I used to play with dolls as a child?
Not really, no. You wrote a lot of stories and played pretend. Your parents wouldn't have bought you a doll either way. Too expensive. I don't know why I'm being menacing to you. Sometimes I just slip into it.
Okay, we gotta read 4 again, even if we don't select it.
Yep.
Sometimes I wish I could be a ball-jointed doll that sits on a shelf and doesn't have to think too hard, if that's what you mean.
Oh, don't we all?
Didn't we play a game about that?
We did. We absolutely did. Written by the wonderful Volition New Love. I don't know if I have a link for it somewhere, but Absolutely, we did. There's something very innately appealing to a lot of people about not having to make decisions. About confronting however many things you're expected to deal with in the modern world, and having been given very little or no resources to deal with all of them, find relaxation in just being, for at least a time, I don't have to make these decisions. Someone will take care of me.
I feel like
that's something that we don't really let adults feel, because you're not meant to. You're supposed to have everything together, but like there's still that really potent relaxation in I'm going to be taken care of for however long we're doing this. Not that I would know anything about that. Don't worry about it.
I feel like I have something to say here about the ethics of Spinoza and or Deleuze, but I can't formulate it. So just go read fancy philosophy books and then assume I said something really witty about the ethics of active affirmation toward what happens to you, because I feel like one of those two writers and or both has something to say about this.
I'm breaking into my drink.
Now, I'm wondering, are we going to get called out on it if we're just lying and perfectly playing the parts, or are we going to get called out on it if we don't?
Well, let's, for this one, I think we can safely say
Sure.
Yeah,
I used to write stories and play pretend. Permission received from partner, yes or no?
I don't have a partner.
I don't have a partner, I think. Parents cross-dressers, yes or no? Didn't you already ask this? Yes or no? No? Fertility preservation sought out, yes or no? I'm not sure. How does that even work in 1928?
We're ignoring how this is a very modern gender clinic in a purportedly 1928.
But also, is it normal 1928? Because there's nukes and stuff.
But there's only record players and like it's confusing. Just whirl with it, okay?
Can help you up with a snowman if you want to freeze in your spaff. I have contacts.
Thank you, nasty girl.
No worries.
Sex, yes or no?
I'm aware of what sex is, yes. That seems the best.
That's...
I don't know. I like it. What do you think?
I feel like that's sassy and is going and sassing the gatekeeper never ends well.
True.
I also think it's funny if so far we've been gay disaster and horny, but I think it's funny if we also don't like sex.
Okay. Sure. Let's go with that.
I don't like sex, no. Regardless, you have likely had sex. Details. Aren't you glad that we are in an informed consent area and we did not have to go through this?
Oh, God.
This is how it actually works for a lot of people.
I know it is. And I feel so fortunate to live in an informed consent area. But God fucking damn it.
Okay, we gotta talk about options 4 and 5, which we won't.
I do want to point out that when I was going to therapy originally as a teenager for what I hoped at the time was only just cross-dressing tendencies, whether or not it was sexual was very important to the nature of our discussion of what would happen going forward.
Funny story. When I was a teen and was in therapy, but long before anything about transition could happen or I fully accepted it, I knew, and I told my therapist, and he was actually great about it. He had absolutely no background in trans stuff or understanding of trans issues, but he was just like, well, you know, that seems valid, so let's see what we can do. Like, I'll go learn some things about it and see how I can help you
wonderful.
out to understand yourself a bit better. And of course, couldn't do anything about it because I was a kid with a family that didn't accept that, so you can't transition or anything. But, he was just a generally decent fellow about it.
That's-
Like, oh yeah, I'll learn to be an ally. I don't know shit about this, but... And then...
I don't know. I just got here.
to top it off, quite some time later, I think around the time I had graduated from college, or maybe after that, would have been like 10 years almost since I had been seeing that therapist, I saw his name presenting at some local thing about trans folks and mental health.
Huh.
The dude
That's
dude
awesome.
had stuck with it and like had gotten good with helping trans patients and like gave a little talk about it to other therapists. I was like, hell yeah. That's swell.
That's awesome.
Real ally hours here.
My experience with the therapist when I was first seeing them about this stuff was trying to negotiate my own way down to cross-dressing so I didn't have to think about possibly being trans. And I love my parents, and they know I've told them this to their but like the first thing they said to me when I started talking to them about this fucked me up for so long.
Oh no.
Yeah. I love them. We're on good terms now, and I've said this to their face, but yeah. Woo!
Anyway,
Yeah.
bad memories hour.
Gatekeeping.
Woo!
Woo!
So
And then I didn't get gender care until I tried to commit suicide.
basically the same.
Moving along.
So we got to talk about options 4 through 6, but don't click them. Option 4, shrug, feet. Option 5, tug the collar of your dress, gulp, and wipe away some sweat from your brow. Definitely not feet. Option 6, born to edge, forced to come. Actually, though, we're going to ask the orb for details.
Yep. Oh, you're a bottom. I don't know why you needed to ask that.
You literally spend all day asking us what to do before you do anything. You absolutely reek of submissive breedable pheromones.
I'm afraid I must concur with my colleagues. Prognosis, bottom.
Nod. I'm a bottom.
You don't want to nod on the top? Yes.
Yep.
AGP, 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 AGP.
Thanks, Nightmare.
Why does Nightmare speak in internet lingo? It works. It works really well. It works really well that Nightmare during the daytime comes across as like a frustrated commenter,
Yep.
which I think works. Like they're powerful in the nighttime when there's nothing else standing in their way, but during the day they're just like
Lol. Lamau even.
I'm a bottom. Nod submissively and put on your most breedable face. No, seriously, when I said details, I meant it. Give me some specifics for the form.
The doctor straightens his tie and licks his lips. They're chapped.
Wait, you're talking in full sentences now? We've been talking for some time, Ghost.
The doctor starts to scribble something down on your form.
How many E's are in the phrase possibly unsuited for hormonal therapy due to apparent dissociative condition? I count 5 also.
I count 5.
There's 5 E's in that sentence. I'm a writer, by the way. Might want to jot that one down.
Wrong. There's only 4. Not that it actually matters. It was a rhetorical question. Wait, what?
But there are 5.
Unsuited.
Therapy.
Do. Apparent. Dissociative.
Orb, you're wrong.
Orb, what the fuck, man?
Specimen claims to be a writer, profession well-versed in lying, noted. Details. What kind of sex acts do you like? Who have you had sex with? Have you ever watched your parents have sex? Do you dress up in your mother's dresses and masturbate? What size are your breasts? Do you moan or go all quiet? Do you receive anal sex or do you penetrate others? Do you struggle to ejaculate? Do you imagine yourself as a real woman? Do you have any sexual fetishes? Do you want to have sex with your real male self? What about your father? Do you hate real women, want to hurt them? Do you want to be hurt? How large is your cock?
Gotta get the last one.
Tell me for the form. Orb, I don't know any of this. What sex acts do I like? Who have I had sex with? Have I ever watched my parents fuck? Do I dress up in my mother's dresses and masturbate? What size are my breasts? Do I moan? Do I receive anal sex or do I penetrate others? Do I struggle to ejaculate? Do I imagine myself as a real woman? Do I have any sexual fetishes? Do I want to have sex with my, quote, real male self? What about my father? Do I hate women and want to hurt them? Do I want to be hurt? How large is my cock? He needs to know for the form. So we're clicking that.
I want to look at some of the other ones first, but I may have worn my mother's dresses and masturbated
Okay,
once.
yeah. I may have worn my mother's dresses and masturbated once in a while. Let she who has never done so blow the first load. Solemnly raise your hand and wiggle fingers in a way that is meant to represent you blowing your load. We're not clicking that one.
Weird ones, several people. No and no. Small, you whine oh, hold on. Should we actually figure out what the answer is? What kind of sex acts do you like? Weird ones. Who have you had sex with? Several people. Have you watched your parents have sex? No. Do you dress up in your mother's dresses and masturbate? No. What size are your breasts? Small. Do you go on or go all quiet? You whine pathetically. Do you receive anal sex or do you penetrate others? You would receive if you didn't have IBS. Do you struggle to ejaculate? Yes. Do you imagine yourself as a real woman? Freak question. Do you have any sexual fetishes? Everyone does, especially this guy. Do you want to have sex with your real male self? No. What about your father? No. Do you hate real women? No. Do you want to hurt them? No. Do you want to be hurt? Yes. How large is your cock? Bigger than you'd expect, but nothing to gloat about. Oh, and by the way, it's not for the form. It's for him.
Details. What kind of sex acts do you like? Who have you had sex with, etc.? I'm not reading the whole thing again.
You could. Are these questions relevant? Maybe? I feel like number 2 is funny, but probably too telling.
Are these questions relevant?
Oh.
Yes, for the form.
He taps his pen against his desk.
All right, he's gonna ask it again.
Oh, god damn it. This sucks so hard.
My answer to all of those is the most normal possible answer for each individual question. How many times did he rape you? Your father, I mean. Or how many times?
You fail. I'm pretty sure it's 0. I'm not even really sure what this question's purpose is. It's irrelevant. This man is just a psycho.
Gang, why is this conversation suddenly taken such an upsetting turn?
Because the man sat in front of you is evil. He is a demon trapped in the skin of a mammal.
He's a pervert working a pervert's dream job. A job where he can hurt people and never face any consequences. Where he can hurt people and be cheered as a hero.
Not a hero. He's not half as brutal as the political and journalist class would like. Woo! Thank you, Nightmare. Shut the fuck up.
0? I used to work in a prison. I know when people are lying for their own gain. How many times? 0.
A chill silence sets over the room. The flies buzz.
Unlikely, but noted.
The doctor is silent. He scribbles something down in his notes.
Is that good? Did I do good? Specimen capable of rotating a cube in his mind, yes or no? Attempt to rotate a cube in your mind.
You picture a cube in your head. It is stationary. You strain yourself in an attempt to rotate it and are met with searing pain. The orientation of three-dimensional objects is a hot stove, and your small little rodent brain is a careless child's hand.
I was trying to rotate 9, but I could only get up to 4.
Oh, I thought that was even one of the options for a moment. No. Which one are we doing? What? What are you giggling about?
I'm giggling at I'm basically rotating a cube in my mind on a semi-permanent basis, which is not a good answer.
Which one are we doing then?
I always want to pick 6.
Asks Vivian to pick a thing. Vivian giggles quietly to herself. Says nothing.
You can't ask me to pick a thing. That would use up one of my 6 actions for the day. And I still need to eat dinner. I cannot, and any attempt to ends in horror. The pain is overwhelming, the intensity unbearable.
Oh, that's fun. Hey, SK, reminder to just put a little thing up there. It's fine, but like, it's not as bad as you're thinking, but YouTube be YouTube.
Analysis complete. Assessment. Specimen exhibits traits in line with type 6 transsexual. Request for feminizing hormones approved. Pass this note on to the Keeper of the Gate of Venus. The real female will take care of your request for feminizing hormones. Thank you. Do a gay little curtsy, pass through the scary door, and head back to the Keeper of the Gate.
Yay, we actually accomplished something. Good for us. You return to the reception. The gender NKVD continues to tie your noose as you leave. It is patient. It will fulfill its purpose one day. Well, we did it. How do you feel?
Awful. I feel small. I feel humiliated. I'm never coming back to the doctors again.
No one that isn't me gets to make my friends feel small and humiliated and gets away with it. Let's firebomb this place and roast that motherfucker alive like the pig he is.
New quest.
No, do not add a new quest. Only I get to add quests. Not while we're in it, I hope. Let's avoid firebombing anywhere until we have our hormones, yes?
So that's not a no, Orb. Good to know.
Listen, I said what I said. The reception is quiet, save the scraping of sandpaper against keratin.
Approach the Keeper of the Gate of Venus. I have a prescription request from the gender NKVD. Pop it down onto the desk for me, would you? And I'll get right to filling out the prescription and sending it off to the chemist, okay, dear?
The Keeper of the Gate glances at the note briefly, but doesn't look up at you. She's still transfixed on her broken nail.
Wonderful, I'll get right on it, okay, dear? You'll be able to pick up your prescription from the chemist tomorrow.
Let's get on with your day and put this nastiness behind us.
As if such a thing is possible.
Well, that was horrifying. Whee! I love horror from the notion of gender. It's very fun. And by fun, I mean horrifying. But I find it in some ways very, liberating is the word I'm going to reach for, but I don't know if it's quite the one I mean. And it's because, like, even if it's presenting real problems, when it's in a fictional sense, it's so much easier to take that and deal with it as it is, right? You can recognize that, like, oh, this is horrifying, but this is part of a story. It will end, and I'll be able to move on. And that, I don't know, helps me a lot sometimes when I feel really inescapable about things. That's the end of that tangent. Thank you for coming. The air outside his surgery is cold, faintly wet. It is a blessing compared to the lukewarm, dry air inside. An automobile chugs past you, flashing your reflection in its window. You look dead.
You are broken goods, ghost.
Would you like to save the game? No, I don't want to save this. This is horrifying. All right. The cathedral is open once a day, but it'll be closing once it gets dark, which is soon. If you want to do whatever it is you wanted to do there, you should go now. Should we try to go to the cathedral and then talk to
The mechanic.
War Vet on the way back and then write?
Let's.
Or do we have to write and then also drop it off?
Let
Let me check something real quick. Where's our quests? Here we go.
Scrungly woman.
Write an article by the end of the day. Okay. It doesn't say we have to drop it off. Just write about it by the end of the day. Okay, cool. So I think if we want to try to go to the church, we can do that.
Okay.
Or we'll see how much time it costs us. Yeah?
Yeah, let's see.
Someone worth talking to there today only. Let's go see her.
Her holiness is there. And indeed everywhere, every day, nasty girl.
Know what I was talking about? Hot bitches down to fuck.
The cathedral is closing for the day very soon, Ghost. The spire of Blue Hills Cathedral calls to you. In your chest you feel it rings, rings, rings.
Bathe in holy ambiance and maybe meet a weird gangly woman.
Let's do it. The cathedral is a shadow of its former self, quite literally, for there's not enough manpower left in the congregation to keep the candles alight. Were it not for the sunrise streaming in through the stained glass windows, the great hall would be as gloomy as a basement. Only a small congregation still huddles together at the far end of the great hall. The columns that stretch into the distance are engraved with an endless list of names. The names of those recorded to have joined Saint Dawnsight on her crusade. Kings, knights, craftsmen, jesters, scholars, priests, and peasants alike. A dance macabre. Their names are remembered equally and forever.
Why are some of the names written in gold?
Those are the kings and the knights. I used the phrase equally a little too liberally. Sorry. This hall was magnificent, once upon a time. The congregation would fill the pews, the standing space, and even stretch outside on occasion. The acoustics created by the architecture broadcast the speaker's voice from above and behind them, as if from the stained-glassed saint herself.
Where did everyone go?
Some were taken by the plague, but most by the war. The Anglican Church was a vital cog in the nation's propaganda machine. It preached the glory of fighting alongside your church friends against the evils of Brennenburg and its religion that is oh so dismissive of Saint Dawnsight, who, may we remind you, fought her war without complaining, did her duty. The congregation bled into the mud, watched their town burn under bombs, watched their saint do nothing when their families were butchered by Corvidaean rabies. Those who did not lose their life lost their faith, and those who did not lose their faith lost their trust in the institution. Those whose devotion to the highly defined scripture the church preaches, they are who you see before you. A handful of zealots, a scattering of indomitable ants. The cathedral feels familiar somehow. Something tickles at your brain. You haven't been here before, but during your childhood you were often dragged along to a similar cathedral someplace else. Your parents weren't devoutly religious. The formality of the Anglican Church was always off-putting for them. but they would take you with them a few times a year when the mood took them. A pale fox sits alone toward the back of the great hall. She is not part of the congregation. She is an anomaly. She glances towards you and then towards a spread of cards in her hand, comparing you to them as if that were a completely normal thing to do to a total stranger. The windows shimmer, the colors reflected off of a stream on a summer's day.
Let's approach the mysterious card-shuffling fox.
Let's do it. Hello there, mysterious card-shuffling fox. The mysterious card-shuffling fox eyes you suspiciously. It's not genuine suspicion. She's glad you've approached her. She's been trying to get your attention since you arrived.
She wants to fuck.
She wants to talk. She will settle for either.
May I...
Oh, I love Fox's art.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, sinner.
May I help you?
Let's not be too bottom about this.
May I sit next to you?
A mean smile flickers on her face just for a moment. She's glad you want to sit next to her, and gladder still that you felt you had to ask.
You may.
How did that still come across as bottom? Come on, that was polite, not... Is it me? Am I the bottom? She smells familiar. A neuron hidden somewhere in your brain attempts to sputter back to life, but fails. Some kind of wine, perhaps. Chateau Saint Arnois. Arnois? Fuck me, man. I don't know. It clings to her like perfume because she intentionally splashes a little on herself every morning. It's vintage 1915. Not expensive, but not exactly cheap either.
Imagine spending dosh on wine when vodka and lighter fluid exist. Always be hustling.
There's something more. Oestradiol. She smokes it often. It gives the It gives the red wine a dry, minty undertone. It's rather intoxicating, but then everything about the pale fox beside you is. The night black fur surrounding her pink eyes most of all.
Still waiting for the day when I can get my hormone prescription via vape pen.
Why? You can't smoke for shit.
That's true.
You tried to drag marijuana once since it's legal here. And it was the silliest experience.
Absolutely.
Especially from someone who was watching you do it. I don't think you were meant to smoke.
That's true. I'm not.
I think if you were meant to smoke, you would have been and still would be. But it's nice that you think you can. When did I get so mean? Shit, I'm sorry. The black fur around her eyes is natural. But even if it was white from birth, it would be black now. She runs a sleep debt that only goes up. One day soon the collector will collect, and they will not be kind about it. She folds the cards away into a small case which she hides in her coat pocket. She isn't shy about whatever she is doing, but she knows all too well she cannot multitask.
Do you come here often? I don't recognize you.
Her voice is soft, transsexual, stern but inviting. A hint of performance to it, somewhere between singer and practiced radio news reader.
I don't think so, no.
She eyes you curiously. I don't think so was not an answer she expected.
Then what brought you here today then, pray tell?
I don't know. Vibes or hunting for girls, you know how it is.
Vibes.
Not gonna try it? No? All right.
Yes, I'm here for much the same reason. To bathe in the ambiance, so to speak.
She continues to stare into the colored glass, fixated upon it as though she might find the divine itself looking back at her through it.
It's a nice cathedral, I guess. It is, isn't it? It reeks of a humility that lingers like a miasma, punctuated only occasionally by flashes of glorious, overwhelming beauty. Yes?
She describes the cathedral as though she's trying really hard to describe a fine wine. The sinner looks away from the window that seems to fascinate her so, and into you.
And yet,
She smiles. Her eyes flicker shut, a second too slowly to hide the tears forming in them.
She cries a lot. Every day.
Why was that a lovely lady check?
or rather, why does Orb answer it?
Right.
I feel nothing. Elazia does not speak to me. The divine has no place for me. I am not supposed to be here. Here being in a cosmic sense.
The sinner turns away from you, annoyed at her own brief moment of vulnerability. She clears her throat before continuing.
Still, it's no surprise that I haven't seen you here before, if indeed you so rarely attend Mass. I must admit I have only been here on a handful of occasions, having only moved to Blue Hills perhaps 3 months ago. I was...
This pause is intentional. She is being melodramatic. Again.
That's a lovely lady trait, I think.
unsatisfied with my previous home. The corpse of a dead, dying mining town did not suit me. Where...
Dead and dying? Which one you want?
Where are you from?
The sinner fishes around for something in her coat pocket for a moment, before snapping back to your conversation. She was subconsciously reaching for her lighter. Smoking has been strictly forbidden in the church since the incident, but were it not, she would be lighting a cigarette right now.
I'm from Briargray. You've probably heard of it.
The woman fiddles with one of her necklaces. A golden crown. Its sides are worn from her incessant fiddling.
What happened to Briargray? A mining incident, a bad one. The journalists, they all used the phrase accident, but it wasn't. It was the logical conclusion of a decade of documented corporate mismanagement. It was murder. What was? Briargray was once a prosperous coal mining town until 1926. Not long after the end of the war, when the spoil tip, which had, for various economic reasons, been kept atop the hill on the north side of the town, collapsed and brought most of the hillside with it. 187 dead townspeople were a front-page story for a day, and then they were forgotten.
A spoil tip is a mound of excavated rubble removed from the mine. It is worthless and can end up piling quite high. Just for your information. So, like a literal avalanche of useless earth.
Yep.
Great. Love it. The recollection of a national tragedy brings a dour mood to the conversation, which seems to float upside down in its aquarium.
Anyhow, I best be off. The day has finally crawled out of its pit, and I can't sit here all day while I have research to attend to. The sermon at the far end of the cathedral continues in its absence. There is not time for silence while we yet pray for her return.
The sinner flashes her teeth.
It was nice to meet you, Ms. Ghost. For now, anyway. Charming.
She stands, and without so much as looking at you, disappears from the gloomy cathedral and into the daylight. Well, that was fun. Definitely someone worth meeting. Hey, look, the name Anne.
You should check your pocket. Trust me.
Check your pocket.
Nestled snugly in your pocket is a card. It's not one of the cards from the sinner's deck. It's a card for a wine merchant. An address has been scrawled across it in ink. Apartment 1, 13 Rosethorn Lane. How did that get in our pocket? My goodness, was that magic? Oh, that dame! It was a magic trick, which, while visually similar to actual magic, is not actual magic. A witch! How exciting!
I like to show her a trick or two. With my tongue, that is. Hey!
Huh, you are simply beastly, nasty girl. You two are idiots, and I hate you both. Well, that seemed worth meeting. You want to
gaze into the window? Emphasis on the gay.
Got him!
There are 3 windows at the end of the cathedral, each a different depiction of Queen Marigold Alasia Dawnsight, the queen who bravely led her great crusade into the swirling dark to slay the demon that choked the world even. The Anglican Church holds that she was successful in this feat. She wasn't. Her demon was a volcano. Her crusade was naive folly, and she froze to death with a lung that was more ash than bronchi. When the knowledge of the supervolcano was later brought to Anglia, it was seen as merely the site of the battle, where, depending on interpretation, the queen either continues to battle for eternity or rests peacefully. Either way, the end of the Dark Age was seen as indisputable proof of her divinity. In the absence of a body, she lives on eternal, the soul of an empty people. The stained glass shimmers pleasantly in the morning sun. Part of you wishes you could sit and stare at it forever, but it would probably lose its charm around sundown.
Let's look at the center window.
Saint Marigold Alasia Dawnsight. She's beautiful. Golden light, unfurling warm beneath your throat. The peaks of her crown, the symbol of the Church of Anglia, shine like beacons in the night. Her golden hair flows from her scalp and forms a sea of warm curls that frame her. It is more than just hair, it is an aura, the golden glow of the divine. She wields the divine spear, Light Singer, with a mixture of confidence and humility. It is the heart of her followers, the heart of Anglia, the heart of all the peoples of the world. She cradles it like a child. So long as she is close to it, and they close to her, the divine will always prevail over darkness. Anglia's savior, the world's savior. So the church would have you believe, at least. The sunshine shines through Dawnsight's golden locks, a warmth that compels you to speak to her. White feathers. White feathers.
Do people pray to her?
They do. It began during the Dark Age, shortly after she departed on her crusade. It was a one-way transaction of good fortune to her, but as she failed to return and the Dark Age dragged on, these prayers morphed into pleading for her victory, pleading for her to bring good fortune and eventually begging for anything. I wonder if the Dark Age in this is more literal, like a supervolcano belches ash into the air and chokes everything in like a global winter for several years.
Didn't Orb explicitly say that last episode?
Oh, did Orb explicitly say that?
I thought that was explicitly stated
okay,
already.
Cool. All right, we'll just isn't it cool that Orb said that last episode?
I mean, I might be mistaken. I just thought that we already knew that. Let's give it a go. Let's pray to St. Dawnsight. See what happens.
You sort of bow your head and mumble to yourself. You aren't sure what exactly, for you have no idea what you're doing. Might I offer you some assistance, Ghost?
How do I pray to the nice lady?
Just close your eyes, bow your head, and I shall do it for you, Close her eyes and bow her head?
Yep.
Ring, ring. Hello, is this Saint Dawnsight? Yes, hello, yes, that's right, it's me, lovely lady. Yes? Uh-huh. No, she's not very good at this, is she? Well, no. Titter, titter? Yes. No. Yes. Yes. Well, thank you. Yes, I'll send her your best. Toodaloo now. Mwah. Bonsoir, mon ami.
That's definitely how you pray.
Guess where I'm putting these 2 fingers, motherfucker.
Saint Dawnsight says best of luck, Ghost. She hopes things work out for you and something or other about a flaming sword. I forget what it was.
The fuck was that? Was that praying?
I have to concur with Nasty Girl. What the fuck was that?
Oh, suddenly you're an expert at praying, are you, Ghost? One thinks this is the last time you will offer up her spiritual services to you. The nerve! There's a more modest shrine to the saint in the woods. Hundreds, actually. Perhaps they would serve as a better ambiance for your delusions.
The options.
The options are so good!
I'm gagging to try out some more religion. I'd rather choke than try out some more religion. I'd prefer to do a secret third thing with my throat over trying out some more religion, to be honest.
Winky face.
I'm not sure if I need to try out religion, but I feel like I should try to talk to St. Dawnsight some more.
Started quest. Fuck it, let's try religion.
Does everyone worship her?
No. Non-Anglian sects of the church view their own leaders who took part in the crusade as saints, and tend to put more emphasis on the crusade as a collective moment of action, rather than the work of a singular person. The peculiar definition of royalty is a very Anglian quirk.
I feel like I recognize her.
You used to see her every day, or a statue of her at least. She sat atop the Church of the Distant Savior, facing out to sea, toward the continent. A hand unfurled southeasterly as if trying to grab it, to save its soul. The Anglian Church loves weird, nationalistic, misguided self-aggrandizing. She didn't look like this, though. The Alasia you knew was all empty inside.
She was what?
Erosion. The seawater tore the unprotected elements of her apart bit by bit, year by year, until the woman was gone and all that was left was a husk. The shell of a woman, empty save for a few blocks of salt. Flecks of salt, even. She is not so different to the real Dawnsight. The Dawnsight in the eyes of church is not her. It is something else wearing her skin, stripped of all her autonomy. All that is left of her legacy is a husk.
I feel a great affinity to this statue.
Mm-hmm.
I've also been eroded away by seawater until I'm a husk.
I feel that. Shall we move on?
Let's move on.
Left window?
Yep.
Queen Marigold, Alasia Dawnsight, hosting an antiquated Anglian flag with pride. Behind her march the kings, queens, rulers, khans, and sultanates of the nations that followed her on her quest. What's that say in the bottom there? Seguitemi
Amici dell'Anglia.
friend
Something Friends of Anglia. In Italian?
Seguitemi.
Is that...
That's not. Is that like a like moving between friends of?
I don't know. I don't know Italian. Neither do you.
No, but it looks like segue. Not that segue. The word seg like in music.
No, it looks like a segue. You're correct.
And music is all Italian words, so like. Flaps flutter, flags flutter like butterfly wings.
Oh, it's Follow Me, Friends of Anglia.
Oh, okay. So I was right.
You were.
It does have a similar root to segue. Flags flutter like butterfly wings, the navy blue of the Franks, the blood of the Brennenburg, the black of the Imperial Inquisition, the azure of the Azure Horde, the two-headed sheep of Muscovy. It's quite a procession. Ahead of Dawnsight, a great demon spews an evil miasma into the sky. The cloud of darkness morphs into the form of choking faces. The rest of the Anglian Church's holy beliefs were this exciting, the religion would probably be more popular. But alas, they are not.
Why did she go on her crusade?
Legend says she was whispered to by the divine while lost in the woods just south of your cottage. Some pagan worshippers believe that the queen was deceived by a woodland spirit known as the Helpful Traveler, though this belief is seen as a grave heresy by the church.
The Helpful Traveler?
Huh! Nonsense! Heretical nonsense! A trickster that gives false directions to those who find themselves lost in the woods. Those who follow its advice only find themselves more lost, and when they die of starvation or thirst or exhaustion, it feasts upon their soul. Some believe those who took part in the crusade fell victim to it, having followed the queen to her doom, and that it died from overeating.
Is that what happened?
No. The truth was far simpler. She met a girl in the woods. A pretty one. A peasant, sure, with all the trappings that came with that. The gray volcanic dust mottled fur, little different from the industrial soot that blankets you. The raspy ash cough that Her Majesty had avoided with boiling salt baths. Grime. A curious but not unpleasant smell. But she was so pretty. She was also crying. When Dawnsight asked why, the girl replied, between tears, that she missed the blue sky, the golden light of sunset through autumnal leaves. Her village whispered of a great ash demon far to the east that had cast the world into this end time. She cried because none could hope to defeat such a being. Marigold took her hand and vowed to put a stop to the dark age. I will see you smile again, my sweet maiden, she told the girl, in gold text. She gets a lot of gold text. She did not. Neither did the girl live to see the last of the ash. The dark age was long. Few saw it through from start to end.
But some did. Okay, so it was within the length of a human lifetime. Let's look at the right window. Oh, dang, we've been looking at the wrong windows all along. We could have just looked at the right one.
What the heck is that?
That's so good.
What's the name of the cartoonist for The Onion?
Is it Stan Kelly?
Is that it? Because it's got that vibe, right?
It kind of really does. Yeah.
Right, 'cause with the cartoonist popping himself up there explaining the thing, and everything is overly explained political cards. It's so great. I was not ready for this window to be as silly as it is. This is awesome. The third window depicts Queen Marigold Alasia Dawnsight handing out bread to civilians wrapped in the Anglian flag, whilst somehow also hurling a bolt of lightning at a group formed of people waving imperial flags and holding signs with "Consciousness Objector" and I don't dig for victory" written on them. That's not conscientious, that's consciousness, right?
I'm a consciousness objector.
Today's youth, huh? This is awesome.
So good.
And the real itchy and scratchy face on the...
I like that. That's like the flag of Wales, except it's a sheep instead of a badass dragon on it.
This window has a noticeably different style to the others. Oh, we failed something. It was installed during the war. Apparently one of the patriotic cartoonists for the Blue Hills Telegraph was the only artist not currently having their lungs turned to mush by toxic gas at the time. You look upon the embarrassing display of wartime patriotism sewn into the fabric of the church. I'm one of the good ones.
Wave one fist at each group of flags. Fuck flags. Fuck you. I hate flags. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Flag?
Stomp up and down a bit.
Not flag!
Oh my god, she's having a breakdown. This is amazing.
Shall we move on?
Yeah.
All right. What a wonderful time was had here.
Bored now. I'm leaving forever.
A feeling inside unfurling. Unfurling. In the woods, she waits for you. All right.
Can't wait to meet her.
Yeah, that'll be great. God. I want to tell you what this reminds me of, but it's a spoiler for a thing that you're doing, so I want to just kind of let you feel it.
What's funnier is I'm pretty sure I have some vague memory of what the thing is that you mean from you playing it.
Okay, shut up. We're going to take a recording break because we need to finish the rest of this day, but I don't think we're going to do so in 15 minutes.
Yep.
So we'll see you right now.
You remembered.
I did.
We never remember.
I also remembered why I thought Oceania was the U.S. in this setting.
Why?
Because Oceania is the empire based on the United States in Orwell's 1984.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's Oceania.
This entire time I thought they were fighting Australia and New Zealand.
No, so I'm pretty. That's why I thought that.
You're probably right then.
Yeah, because and then Britain is airstrip 1. But yeah, that's the country. That's the entirety of the continent of North and South America.
Dang.
Yeah, part 2 of this episode is this is the next day, so we don't do super long recording sequences. Don't mind. Let's go interview.
All right.
We're trying to be responsible, right?
Let's try it.
Your job requires you to write a short article about a hero of the Great War. The weapon is one of those, right? If not, should certainly have something interesting to say. It's not that the weapon doesn't notice you approach, so much as they willingly choose not to acknowledge you.
Only one thing to do, mate. Besiege them.
Wait, linger, persevere, become sodden mud and matted barbed wire. Make this awkward social interaction your very own psalm.
Why? Oh, yep, we're waiting and lingering. This is great. The fiction shatters. The weapon makes a grave error. They glance ever so vaguely in your direction, mainly in the hope that doing so might scare you off. Fool. Their gaze betrays the pretense of having not seen you. Their gates split open. You are in.
Hello. Do a gay little wave. It's me again.
Yes, it is you again, isn't it? What do you want?
I'm writing an article for Weird Tales magazine, and I'd love to interview you.
Weird Tales, that rag, what a load of rubbish. Tripe turned out to placate the dumb masses.
They spit.
That's the one, yes. Can I ask you some questions?
They scrunch their nose and sigh.
Shoot.
Wow! What were you trying to tell us, lovely lady? We failed a whole lot there. The weapon keep one eye on their field. The sheep are content. The weapon is not. Mostly due to your presence. Today was going so well.
I'm wondering, do we lead by asking about the sheep?
It's your call. You're allowed to.
So, sheep. What are they about? Haha. Bah.
They're mammals like us, just not enough like us to live in houses and pay taxes. The sheep in this field specifically are kept for their wool and milk.
They cast a glance over to the creatures. A smile almost flickers on their face, but it doesn't.
I envy them. They got to stay here and chew cud while we were shipped over to the continent in defense of the Empire.
Ah! We got them to bring it up on their own. They say in defense of the Empire in the same way someone might say mother found my piss drawer.
The sentience was a cruel joke. You don't see lesser beings suffer as we do. No sheep has ever had to breathe in their own piss to survive a gas attack.
This is it. This is your chance. Get them to open up. One of the sheep bleats at you. Do they know you're talking about them? The weapon looks over, checking up on the situation. The sheep are in their field. The grass is green. All is right in the world.
Do you have a favorite sheep?
You don't want to try to get him to open up now that we've got him talking about the...
Oh, does it mean that was the only moment, and if we don't move on?
I don't know if that means if we don't move on.
Well, let's try. You said earlier that these sheep got to stay here and chew cud while you were shipped over to the continent. I didn't quite follow that, so please, could you elaborate?
The Great War, Anglian 4th Rifle Corps, I was a sniper.
Were you good at being... Oh.
Were you good at being a sniper?
Yes.
I'm not going to ask you how many people you killed. That would be rude.
The weapon just chews on their straw and eyes you suspiciously. No change there.
Are we done?
Not yet. Sorry. Did you do anything notable? Do you have a war story you'd like to share?
No.
Okay. Nod and pretend to scribble down some notes.
No one shot was any more notable than another. I never missed, and so it became routine. A string of corpses, a trail of lives ended or ruined by my hand.
Their eyes stay fixed a few inches to the side of your face. 0 eye contact, even accounting for the eye patch.
Anything notable? No, I did not. Not officially, at any rate.
They muse for a moment.
Blew the brains out of a high-ranking Inquisition officer once, I suppose. Bastard probably deserved it.
The Imperial Inquisition was Brennenburg's intelligence agency from the 19th century onwards. It hasn't done any actual inquisitioning in a long time. It was initially founded to protect the Holy Italian Empire, later Brennenburg, during the Dark Age when all manner of arcane threats were afoot.
I was going to say Holy Italian Empire, Italy is normal, and then I realized, nope, that's the HRE. The Holy Italian Empire is the Germany XP.
As the world slowly returned to normal, the organization morphed into the world's most sophisticated spy network. Into the reason Brennenburg was able to become as politically and culturally dominant as it did. The Inquisition held sway over most of the crowns in Europe, Anglia, and Frankreich especially, eventually leading to their outright subjugations through marriage. That was a long time ago. The Order was a shadow of its former glory by the time the war started, and a shadow even of that these days. A holdout battalion, a relic of a war everyone else would rather forget. They will never surrender, but they will never, ever get their fight.
I think about that lot often, you know? Over on that island, up to who knows what. You know what they're doing over on Gotland? No, me neither. No one does. Not the Anglian Intelligence Service, not anyone.
Uh-oh. They're going off on a tangent. You need to stop them now if you don't want a repeat of yesterday's monologue.
Actually, I'd quite like to hear what they have to say. They might have some intriguing insights into modern geopolitics and history.
They absolutely do not. But fine.
They're still up there, up to no good, experimenting, building the bomb. They might even get there first. Then what? The return of the Imperial Dynasty? Hell, they could have resurrected the Emperor for all we know. With their science, their witchery. Oceania, the Reds, the Inquisition, it doesn't matter. One of them will give the order. One of them will sign our death warrants and reign over our bones. The countdown has begun.
They raise an outstretched hoof and begin counting down, vocalizing a tick and a tock every few beats, until they swipe their arm down, their hoof stopping millimeters from your face. A blast of cold air hits you over like a shockwave.
Time for shivers to proc.
Bang. Armageddon. The end sight cometh.
This might be more interesting than the story we were going to write. A war hero just talking about the Endzite. What you want?
Oh, I got it. How far off the rails does it go if we... That bops. I think you might be right. Tell me more. How can I prepare for the end sight?
You can't.
Oh.
Unless you have a rifle and a bunker full of nutrient powder and convert your coins to gold bars.
Right.
Anyhow, you wanted to hear my war story.
Oh, good. And they got there on their own.
Yeah.
So more likely to be amenable to. Thanks for your time, the weapon.
Commander visited me before I was let go. Something about receiving some medal or other with an implied you will also have to serve in the colonies and fight those dirty communists down in Africa in the small print. I said no. He rephrased the offer to be an order. A week later, I had my eye stabbed out in an alley fight and I was discharged. Good. I'm not having anything to do with that shit show down south. It gets nastier down there every day, and for what? A slither of stolen land?
They spit. The kind of spit that would, if willpower were enough to change its chemical makeup, be blood and bile. There was no alley fight. They got someone to do it to them. They never wanted to be able to squint down a scope again.
Wow, our only option. You got your eye stabbed out on purpose, didn't you?
They don't react. They just keep chewing on their straw. Don't speak. Allow them to chew on their thoughts for a moment.
I did. You're right.
They squint their remaining eye and look deep into your soul.
You're smarter than you look, little rat. Smarter than the military police, even. I got lucky, met a hyena, a reconnaissance driver, I think, and a few drinks later she was playing the part of my burly mugger. She played it well. Huge lady, scary, smelt of salt and petroleum.
They chuckle.
The brass had no doubt in my story. Deserters usually go for something less permanent, less messy. They gave me my medal, took my rifle, and sent me home. Never heard from them again. I've been forgotten. A half-blind footnote in military history.
Wow, we are doing so badly today. This session's going with the... Yeah.
The war in Europa was bad, but I've heard stories about what goes on down there. Stories that go beyond just bad terrain, massacres, rabies, and heat. Fuck it all.
They shake their head.
We'll be out of there by the 30s, and then our instruments of fascism will turn inwards to us. We are all going to die.
Anglia withdraws from Central Africa in 32. They're not far off. The instruments of fascism just sort of fall apart on the way back, fortunately.
What are the instruments of fascism? Is it like a keytar or a hurdy-gurdy or what?
Fully accepting that we are making a mockery of something incredibly serious.
it's what I do!
Once we've gotten past that hurdle, the instrument of fascism is a plastic recorder.
You're absolutely correct. Maybe a kazoo also. Actually, no, I take that back. I think a kazoo is not.
No, kazoos carry like an implicit warning with them. Like you hear someone with a kazoo and you're like, oh, that's a kazoo person. I'm going to be over here instead of wherever the kazoo is kazooing.
Anyhow, that's it. That's all I have to tell you. Go write your article. Don't refer to me by name.
I don't know your name, actually.
I'm happy to keep it that way.
Heck yeah. One of the sheep bleats at you. Do they know you're talking about them? The weapon looks over, checking up on the situation. The sheep are in their field. The grass is green. All is right in the world. you want to ask more about their sheep?
Yeah,
now?
let's.
Yeah, because like we got what we needed. Let's let them chat about something they enjoy.
Do you have a favorite sheep?
Nope.
Parsnip. That Parsnip is another one of the games that made by Digital
it
Poppy.
is. Do you have a least favorite sheep?
Nope.
I guess we'll never get to know which one it was.
How many sheep do you have?
There's 50 in this flock. 50 exactly.
Do they have names?
Sally, Belinda, Matilda, Matilba, Critter, Ludwig, Rose, Camille, Charlotte, Elaine, Rosie, Poppy, Mia, Flop, Floppy, Parsnip, Fritter, Flopsy, Blimp, Skitter, Lily, Violet, Veronica, Penny, Polly, Popsy, Liana, Ray, Starner, Grumble, Bumble, Fumble, Freya, Mary, Marie, Maria, Maria, Mariba, Sheep, Sheepy, Sheeper, Jewel, Mahler, Dana, Spider, M. Is that going to be like M, like
Maybe.
French, or is it going to be I may? Antoinette, Carrot, Wooly.
They list off the names without so much as a stutter. They know each of them by sight. They know each of their personalities. Fritter, for instance, likes to jump over things, and her favorite food is carrot. The vegetable, not the sheep.
Have you ever ridden one of the sheep around and pretended to be a knight?
Nope.
Oh,
Absolutely has. How did you get into shepherding?
Grew up on a farm near Swanmore. Father had me watching our flock before I was old enough to walk.
A tiny smile appears on their face.
Bless, those were the days.
A sniffle. They're using their entire force of will to keep a tear inside their tear duct. God, we are so bad today. Orb, what's the deal? Do you need a break?
Thank you for talking. I should get going. Do a gay little curtsy.
Mm-hmm.
The weapon turns away from you and counts their sheep. All present and accounted for. We should head home and get this article written. Hell yeah! We did we're doing a responsible thing.
Yeah. And to be fair, we've done exclusively responsible things this day so far, right?
True.
Well, we
Oh.
went to church. We did mostly responsible things. We went to church
True.
to hang out with some stranger.
Speaking of that stranger, the sinner is at her apartment now. If you want to see her, you best not dilly-dally.
I've said dilly-dally.
Unfortunately, I bet that takes time.
Yep. Unfortunately. The mysterious card-shuffling fox you met at the cathedral seemed awfully keen to meet you at her apartment. How can one say no to such an intriguing and alluring woman?
Well, maybe she'll be available tomorrow.
All right, back home we go. Oh, and that looks like a typewriter.
And I bet it takes up one action. Yep,
Yep.
our final action.
Our final action. That's true. Gay folks can only do 6 actions a day before they get too eepy.
Yeah, that's why we weren't able to finish this in one sesh and had to have the cut in the middle. We ran
In
out
real
of
life, we had
actions.
too many actions.
Yeah.
Definitely not an arbitrary 2-hour cutoff point for our recording sessions. That is there mostly for our own health.
Well,
Your job requires you to write a short article about a war hero.
let's writing.
Your typewriter stares at you with its little, whiny keys. Press us, Mommy, they plead.
Let's write a story about the weapon.
The weapon doesn't have a particularly heroic story, but I suppose shooting off a bunch of people means they got good enough for what we need.
Let's do it.
Let's get to it then. Write an article recounting the weapon's sharpshooting skills winning the day for our boys. Yay! Writing is hard work, but you get it done. We should get this to the pulp writer as soon as possible. She gave you her address, right? Let's save. Your eyelids grow heavy, weighed down by 6 actions worth of sleepy dust. The golden light calls for you. A tired sigh, somewhere distant, but she feels so close. Fingers on your neck, a rawer bracelet, neon green and neon pink. 3 fingers deep, surrounded by dirty tiles. Babe, no, you're so fucking beautiful. Golden light. Golden light. And we'll have to get to that
Next time.
next time. I'm having fun with this so far.
Yeah, this is really, really good.
I am really enjoying. I'm glad we didn't have a big nightmare sequence this night like we did on the previous. That would have.
I also imagine I'm going to have to replay this because there's no way we're getting to all of those different things.
Yeah, and I mean, because also the game said right up front, like, there's not enough time to do everything, so prioritize what you want to do. And I appreciate that. I know we're a bit past it at this point, but I appreciate when the game tells you the difference between, like, you will have time to do everything if you time manage properly, versus there isn't enough time to do what you want to do. Because it changes the way I approach the game, right?
Yeah.
If there is technically enough time to do everything, then I worry heavily about optimization and prioritizing things. But if there isn't, then it's just there's no regret. I can just do what I want and be like, oh, that was my playthrough. That was fun. Anyway, we'll see you all next time, everyone.
Peace.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.